of weeks. We do have 231 now operating, and we're doing the finishing work on the 375 box line, which includes kind of a replacement on the fire protection system in that facility. We're continuing to make shipments to WIP. We've got, as of today, about 1,011 cubic meters out of the 3706 that's not gone out the door. Most of our facilities are now running 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, and so we've stepped that up. That includes our characterization equipment, our remediation equipment. We'll ramp up similar on shipping as we get more product ready to go out the door. So we've ramped up our operations. And I guess one thing that we talked about before is last year was kind of set up and getting everything ready. We got waste out, but if you look at this year in FY13 compared to last year, we're projecting to get out 1,800 cubic meters. Last year, getting those facilities up and ready to go, and then this year executing in our remediation facilities is really key to us making those numbers this year. And on this slide, I also want to talk just a little bit. Can you flip back? Just a little bit on the relationship that we've maintained with the disposal facility WIP. It's a good relationship. We're the highest priority, basically the highest priority for WIP. We've got a great technical working relationship. When we've got problems, they come to help. When they've got problems, we work together to get those resolved. I think we're both focused on the success of this project, and really back to the state of New Mexico of how important it is. And as both residents in that state, we're working together to be successful on this. And then just so far this year, at least through November, 920 over the 800. We shipped some of our October waste in September because we were able to talk with it and given us some more trucks, and we've shipped just about 100 cubic meters so far this year. So we're still right on schedule, but we're going to need those box lines coming up and getting those going, and then we'll see more trucks rolling down the road with that waste. This is just kind of a refresher on the three pieces of the framework agreement. The first one talks about increased shipments with reduction in both the volume and the radioactivity associated. I think we've done that with the numbers numbers up there I showed. We submitted this information in the last quarterly report to New Mexico at the end of September. And then our next quarterly report is due in December. We're on schedule today for the second requirement, which really outlines the 3706 inventory. We're on schedule today with our 1,011 cubic meters that we sent out the door at the end of November. We expect to be on schedule at the end of December with the amount. One of the things that happens in this project is we assay transuranic waste. Some of that waste falls below transuranic waste limits, and we have to manage that as a mixed low-level waste. And so we've got a fairly significant shipment that's scheduled for December that we'll be sending out. That waste has to go to, it doesn't go to WIP, it goes to a different facility. It gets treated to RCRA LDR requirements and then disposed at a Subtitle C RCRA disposal facility. And the last one is a requirement that, so we're not just focusing on the legacy waste, but also waste that's been and will be generated in FY12 and FY13. To date, we've had about 556 containers that have been generated. We've shipped out, so we're not waiting to do that in the time between June and December of next year. We've been doing that work as those come available. We've shipped out 342 of them. It's about 61% of the volume. And then we've got another about 105 that are certified in the WIP data system that will be sent out in the next few weeks. So we're really keeping up with that inventory. It's not going to be, we're not going to let that be a big scrunch after we get the legacy done. We're working that off also. Next, please. Okay, so changing from what we've done, which I think was a good year, to moving forward into FY13. There was a lot of work that was done by a lot of people early to try to make sure that we had the budget that was requested from the environmental program. Basically, the submission that went through the administration, and I think, as everybody here is aware, basically the reaction out of Congress was that did not get passed, and we fell into a continuing resolution, at least for the first 6 months of the year. And so we take reality, and we basically sat down back with NNMCAB again, and went through all of the priorities of the work that we would proceed forward with that funding in the first 6 months of the year. And I think we came out pretty good. We had to do a lot of work to fit the scope in. Some of the things had to be delayed out into the second 6 months, but we were able to keep pace with the priorities that we had been working on. So as you walk down these, we will continue work on the accelerated true waste disposition. We're on schedule, and we're still targeting the 1,800 cubic meters out this year, and we're still targeting to meet the June deadline next year of the 3706. Our work will maintain compliance in the area of groundwater, all the monitoring, and the work that we're doing in the consent order. Same thing for surface water and for the individual permit. Other consent order driven scope that we're looking at, let's just flip. So this talks about, let me just catch up on budget for just a minute. So in the first 6 months, the budget that we got through was $91.7 million. That's basically consistent with $188 million that was prescribed through headquarters in the budget. And then there's really two scenarios in the second 6 months for 13, as we see them. The first one would be that we continue at that continuing resolution level, so that is $188 million for the year. So we go ahead and schedule as much work as we can get into that. And the second one is what we've all really been working for and putting so much energy, including this Citizens Advisory Board, of getting the budget that we think we need to really get the work done, and that's at the $239 million level. But there's still great uncertainty about which option is going to happen here. So we basically put pen to paper and done work and prepared and basically planned for each of these. So let's step through this. So if we're in continuing resolution all year, so if we're at the $188 million level, we're not going to be able to get everything done that we would like to get done. There is going to be an impact, and as opposed to me sitting up here and telling you exactly what we will not do, that's one of the things that we're going to have to sit back down with New Mexico and really work through this. But just a few things that'll probably be slowed down without compliance, but there'd be probably a slowdown in the work that we're doing with the town sites, and basically the investigations and finishing those out. We've got some work that started in the first 6 months on the wells and well configurations, and that would probably back off, and we'd probably focus just a little bit more on corrective actions in the individual permit, as opposed that would keep us in compliance, as opposed in some cases to the final remedies. So those final remedies would be delayed until we had the funding to do that. And then there's also the potential, based upon the compliance aspects of the groundwater and the surface water work, that we would have to slightly reduce our level activity in the transuranic waste work. And so that's kind of what the 188 scenario looks like. Again, we did a lot of work in the first 6 months to make sure we stayed on a compliant track and got as much work done as we did. As we move into the field season next year, you can see that that's not going to work quite as well in that second 6 months. Okay, so the better side of the news is if we bump up and we do get the budget increase, that's basically $50 million that we have in the second part of the year to do additional work. That's a real good thing. And again, any work in this area, so we would sit back down with NNMCAB and once again go through the priorities and the additional work that we would proceed forward with. But this is kind of